Welcome to the course of Introduction to the Universal Humanity. The objectives to live in harmony, and for that one to explore the content for the value-based technical education. Welcome for the fourth session. Here would like to say the harmony in family. So previous that one, we have seen the harmony in nature as well as we have seen the harmony in human being, where we have seen the harmony in self along with the body. Now here I will try to explain the concept of the human being conduct whenever we will see this harmony in family. First, why that family is there? That is, what is the expectation of the human being from the family? Okay, here we have differentiated the human being into the two different portion. One is the self and second is the body. So the expectation from the family for the body is the okay. So the first, the body is there through the body through the family. Okay, and once we are having that body, once the self is having the body, then nourishment and the protection is there through the family, as well as the self is expecting the resolution, satisfaction from the family. As a child, the understanding first come through the family, and once that child grows, then the teachers and then the society. But the start is from the family, and that is what the expectation. Then what exactly the family? So it is the smallest unit to get, taste and prove the understanding, isn't it? So it gets the understanding there, it taste it and then prove it. He is understood or she is understood. Then how is that family? So the family is for the recognition of the relationship, fulfillment of the values into it, evaluate it, then the mutual fulfillment is there and the prosperity is there. Okay, so all these are there along with the families. Then how much within that family? So here the proposal is given, the three generations together, around 10 to 12 peoples together, so that is the family. So nowadays, if that three generations are not possible, but still mentally they should be together. So three generations means grandparents, parents and the children. Then the family is the basic unit of the organization and basic of the human society. Okay, and such family consists of the definite set of the individuals living with the resolution and the prosperity. That is what the expectation. So the family should live together with the resolution, with the satisfaction, with the prosperity. They participate in the production, exchange of the goods and ensuring the justice by the way of living with the human conduct. So this is the expectation of the every human being in the family. They should be in definite human conduct for the production, exchange goods, as well as they should ensure the justice. Then the recognition of the relationship and the fulfillment of the values such as the trust, respect, affection and care in the family ensure the mutual fulfillment, which itself is the justice. So here the justice has been defined. What exactly the justice? So one should recognize the relationship, and once that relationship has been recognized, so one should fulfill the values. Okay, so fulfilling that values that ensure the mutual fulfillment, which is the justice. The humans come together to live in a family. Okay, some by birth, some by the marriage, and then this forms a smallest unit, and that is the basis for the orderliness in the human society. Okay. Then the human being experience fulfillment only by the living in the relationships. So we can fulfill that only by the living in relationships. So what exactly the relationships? So there are the three different types of the relationship within the family: mother, father, son, daughter. That is the one, husband, wife, and then the brother, sister. There are the three relations outside with the family: friends, then the colleague and co-worker, and the teacher and student. And there is one system relation. So in total there are the 7 relations within this co-order or within this existence. Then every human being lives in such relationships. Okay, nowadays also everyone is having the relationships. When we are denying any of this relation, then it causes the problems. The identity of the human being is only in the family. So it started from the family and then comes towards the society. So a human being has no independent identity. Okay. And the major fact is that the material needs is only definitely identified in a family. Okay. So once the person get resolved, once the person gets satisfied, the material, the satisfaction is in terms of the psychological needs. Once that are fulfilled, then the material needs are going to be identified in a family, and that are going to be satisfied, that are going to be fulfilled. So the recognition of the relationships and the fulfillment of values in the family ensure the mutual fulfillment. So the values are our participation in the larger orderliness, and in the relations, these are experience. Human being experience the fulfillment only by living in the relationships. So once we are in a family, so the particular human being that has the participation with the other member of the family as well as in the society. So that is what the values. And when we are in relationship, then only we can experience that fulfillment. The values flow only on recognizing the meaning and the purpose of the relationships. Okay. So what is the purpose to be in relations? So, so to recognize the totality. Okay. So here, for example, when someone recognizes the purpose or meaning of the relation of her or his father or the teacher, then the values naturally flow in these relationships. Okay. So whenever we see the relation between father, mother and the child, then the values naturally flows in that relations. When the mother recognizes the relationship with the child, she does not need to make the efforts to have the feeling of care. It flows naturally. Isn't it? Once the mother recognizes the child, okay, so that feeling of care flows naturally. So first it is in the family, and once it is fulfilled in the family, then the same mother, she can see the child in the society, and that feeling of care is there. Then the values don't flow naturally where there isn't any recognition of the relationships. So study of relation can be done on the basis of their purposes, and the continuity of the recognition of the relationships and the fulfillment of values is only possible by having the knowledge, by living in developed consciousness as human consciousness. Okay. Once we understood that what is exactly the self, what are the 10 activities, that is the developed consciousness, and once we recognize it, then we can recognize the relations, and once we recognize the relations, then there is the natural flow of the values. So here we have seen the one should have the knowledge, so what type of the knowledge? So here that there are the three different types of the knowledge that should be understood by the every human being, and that is what the fully developed consciousness. The first one is the knowledge of the realistic view of existence. So here we have seen the existence is there, so existence is coexist. Okay, so this should be understood. Okay, so as the nature is saturated in all pervasive space and energy, so nature is collection of the active units, that is the psychochemical and the conscious units. So there are the two realities in existence. One is the nature, and okay, and second is the space, that is the energy. So this should get understood, and that is what the knowledge, and this is what the existence is in coexistence. Okay, so the each and every unit of the nature is submerged, emerged and surrounded by this space, by this energy. And once we got this understood, So that is what the knowledge of realistic view of the existence. Then the second is the knowledge of conscious self. So we have seen the human being is separated, that are the portion of the self as well as the body. Self is having the different activities. So we can see that the imagination, the thinking, and the selections. So such there are the 10 activities with the 5 potential and the 5 forces. So once we got this, what exactly these 10 activities, and then one can live with that 10 activities, that is what the knowledge of conscious self. And the third one is the knowledge of perfect human conduct. So once we know what exactly the self, once we know the what is the existence, then we know the relationship between the humans, we know the relations between the human and nature, uh, and once we know these relationships, so that are reflected in terms of the values, character and ethics for the human, and that is what the human conduct. So human being conduct, so it is the complete human conduct gets the defined as a combinations of these values, character and the ethics. We can understand our relationships with every unit in existence and live accordingly in the form of complete human conduct. When the human being has a knowledge of existence, reality, then the human living desires and thoughts are based on the definite meaning and understanding, leading to the definite human conduct. So here we have to concentrate on towards the definite meaning and understanding. Once we got the definite meaning and understanding, once our desires and thoughts are tuned with this definite meaning and understand, then it leads toward the definite human conduct. So there is no variation in human conduct, there is a definite human conduct for each and everyone in this world. On the basis of this knowledge, the human is able to clearly identify the values in living as his participation in the larger order in this. Okay, and once we identify such type of the knowledge, then we can once we understood this knowledge, we can identify the values, and that is the participation. The human being is able to see that these values are naturally acceptable to him, and living according to these values gives him satisfaction and is also fulfilling for other humans and the rest of nature. So every human being has to live according to these values for the fulfillment, and along with the other human being and with the rest of the nature. The values are thus the same as our participation or innate nature, that is our purpose of living. Okay. So we have seen for the 4 order, and for 4 order there is the innate natures, and that natures is itself is the values. Okay. So all thoughts and imagination become in accordance with these values and can express the understanding via these values with other human as well as the nature. Therefore, to live with these values becomes the natural for everyone, and to live otherwise becomes the unnatural. On the basis of this, one is able to live with the satisfaction in the self and have mutually satisfied the relationships and with the other human being and with the nature, and itself is the justice and the fulfillment in the relationships. So this prepares the ground for the human traditions via education. So these are the content, this should be the content of the education, and then the human being can have the definite conduct. So that complete human conduct comprises with these values, character and ethics. First we'll go with the values. So these are the values are our participation in the larger orderliness. So there are the 4 values in the self. There are the 6 values in the human being. There are the 18 values for the human relationships, and the 2 values in the human with the nature relationships. So there are the total 30 values, and this put together we can say these are the human values. So these 30 values that should be lived along with the wisdom. So 4 values in the self, that is happiness, peace, satisfaction and the bliss. 6 values: steadfastness, courage, generosity, kindness, graciousness and compassion. 18 relationships values. Okay, so this human relationship that is exist. Okay, so it does not have to be created, so it is there. Once the existence is there, so existence is there. Okay, so it is not destroying. So in the same way the relations are there, it is not going to be created, it is already there, it only need to understood. Okay, so these are the definite expectation in relationships, also called as the values. So values in behavior. Okay, so out of this 18, 9 are established and 9 are express values. Okay, so these are definite one and can be understood. Okay, and hence the expectation in human relationships are definite and can be fulfilled. So here we have to concentrate. The expectation in human relationships are definite and can be fulfilled. Okay, so there is no a vague expectation in relationship. These are the expectation is definite and one can fulfill. And the identification of these human relationships, fulfillment of values, and the mutual satisfaction itself is the justice. So we'll see these 6 values which are along with the human being. The steadfastness, that is a commitment of the living in harmony at all 4 levels with the patience. Okay, so what if we are having the commitment with for the living in harmony at 4 different levels. We have seen the 4 different levels, that are the material order, pranic orders, then we are with the animal order and the human orders. So if there is a commitment of the living in harmony, so being assured that all encompassing solution is to understand and live in harmony at all levels of existence, living with this commitment without any perturbations. Then the courage, commitment for helping the other to understand the harmony. So first is the commitment living in harmony, then the commitment to help the other to understand the harmony, that is what the courage. The third one is the generosity, the commitment to invest one's body, self, as well as the physical facility. So we can say our body itself, the self, and the physical facility to understand and living in harmony at 4 different levels. So these are the 3 different levels. One is the commitment within, then the commitments for the others, and third one is the commitment along with the investing ourselves, our body, as well as the physical facility, so that everyone will get understood and live in harmony. The fourth one is the kindness. Okay, so providing the means to one who has the need but not the means. Okay, if the person has the ability but does not have the means to fulfill his or her needs, so if any one person they are having the ability but they doesn't have some means, okay, so that means needs are going to be fulfilled and we are providing that needs, so that is what the kindness. Okay, the participation in relation to make this available the means to fulfill the needs is the kindness. The graciousness, the helping the other to develop the competence to utilize the means they already have. Okay, so the competence, if someone is lacking with the competence, so if one is helping to develop that competence, so that one can utilize the means. If the person has the means to fulfill needs but does not have the ability, that is the competence to utilize it, the participation in the relation to imbibe the ability in her or her is this graciousness, or we can say that is the beneficence. The last one is that was the 6th one is the compassions. The compassion, it helps the others unconditionally to develop the competence as well as the means. So providing the ability to develop that ability itself and to provide the means also, so that to fulfill that his needs whenever he does not have either the ability as well as the means. Okay. If the person neither has the ability or the means, so both has been provided, and that is what the compassion. So there are the two values with the rest of world. So one is the utility value and second is the artistic values. So utility value, the participation of the physical facility in the nurturing, protecting or the right utilization of the body. The human role is to establish utility value in the light of right understanding. So once the one is understood and once realize that right understanding, so the physical facilities for the nurturing, protecting and the right utilization of that body, so that has been get recognized, and that is what the utility values. And second is the artistic value, that is enhancing the convenience without enhancing the utility values. Okay, so just example, the utility value of the whenever we have the trees, so we can make the chair. So making the chair, that is the utility value, but the painting itself is the artistic value. Okay. So there are the 18 values in human relationships. The 9 are established and 9 are expressed. There are the 9 established are trust, respect, affection, care, guidance, reverence, glory, gratitude and love. The 9 express are complementaries, compliance, commitment, generosity, spontaneity, obedience, easy, self-restraint and anonymity. So whenever the person is within with the trust, so the it is expressed in terms of the complementary and so forth. So these are the 18 human relationships we'll see in the next sessions. So there are the 7 relations we have seen. These are that has to be fulfilled, and this should be the human purpose. The first one is the father, mother and the son and daughter, and what are the activity and the purpose. The nourishment and the protection, that is the activity, and for what? So it is the utility and complementariness. The second, the husband and wife, so it is a mutual complementariness. The brother and the sister, mutual assistance. Friend, mutual assistance, that is the purpose. The teacher and the student, so evidence and the inquiry. So the teacher will provide the understanding, the student has the inquiry about that one, so that inquiry gets satisfied by the teacher. The colleague and the co-worker, the colleague has the responsibility and the co-worker has the duty. And the system relationship, that is the participation. Once we know the relations in the system, so one will participate with the larger order. Then here we'll concentrate for the second portion of the human being conduct, that is the character. So first we are seeing the values. Here is the second, the character. So living with the acceptance for social laws itself manifest as a character while living in the human society. So whenever the one is to be live in the human society, that has to be accepted the social laws, and that is what the character. So the social laws, it comprises with the 3 different parts: the right is wealth, right is relationships, and then the kindness in work and behavior. So first is the right is wealth. So first one is the fruit of efforts employed on nature. So the efforts on the nature, and from that one what we are getting, that is the wealth. The gift from someone and the awards given. Okay. Then the marriage relationships. So that with the fidelity in that marriage relationships in terms of the words, thoughts and the deeds. The kindness is work and behavior, not intruding in the other's progress, recognition of the complementariness. Okay. So no trouble to the other's progress, that is what the kindness in work and the behavior. So living with these social laws and the character ensures we are self-restraint, not intruding in the other's person living in the society. We let the others live. when we are unable to live with the above, we end up with the burden for the society. All crimes in the society are the result of not following one or some or all of the above. Okay. So, so it, if you are not allowing the other to live, that is what the problems with us itself, and that is what the burden within the society. Unrighteous wealth, the steal, cheat, or the harming someone's wealth, that is what the unrighteous wealth. Infidelity, the causing mental and the physical harm with someone's modesty, that is what the infidelity. So, and sadism, the either speak, wish, or the partake in act to cause harm to the others mentally or physically. So if you are doing, that is what the burden with the society, and that are the crimes in the society. Then the third one is the ethics. The essence of ethics is the deploying one's resources for purpose fulfillment. This is called the right use. Right use in two aspects. So we are having the body, mind, and the wealth. Okay. So that should be for the purposefulness. So first one is the religious ethics. The right use of one's resources, body, mind, and the wealth. And then second is the state ethics, protection of the one's resources, that is the body, mind, and the wealth. So we are comprising with this body and the cell, that is the mind, and then along with that one we are having the wealth. So right utilizing, it's the religious ethics, and the protection of this one is the state ethics. So living in this manner from a on this basis flows naturally from every human as a result of knowledge. It does not have to be imposed from the outside, okay, or learned or the repeated. Hence, this is not a set of beliefs and a set of rules to be followed, but something that has to be known. So once we know this one, then this is the reason human values is only possible by the conscious development. So it is not only be imposing. Here we have to know the knowledge, and once we got the knowledge, then these are the results. Okay. So ethics can be only understood when we understood the human organization, its purpose, and our participation in this. In this way, complete human conduct gets explained as a combination of the values, character, and the ethics. These are the three pillars for our living in orderliness. Living with such human conduct requires the basic wisdom. The wisdom, conducts, and values do not need to be enforced or learned. They are natural outcome of the knowledge of understanding. Each human has the natural acceptance for these laws and values. We have seen the conduct in terms of the values, character, and ethics, and now we can see in terms of the laws in living. So once we understood the reality, existence, and its inherent laws, we also understood and accept the universal laws of living for the human being. So one is the intellectual laws pertaining to the self that ensure the balance and healthiness of the mind, non-accumulation, affection, knowledge, straightforwardness, and then the fearlessness. So these are the intellectual law. The social law that ensures the balance and regulated behavior in the societal living. One is the self-will, morality in the marriage life, and the kindness in behavior. And the third one is the natural law that ensures the balance and enrichment of the nature. So that is through the coexistence, utility, and the complementariness with the rest of nature. The guidelines for the professional ethics. The professional ethics is the implications of the right understanding in life and the profession. One should have the clarity about the human role, that is the right understanding and the right feeling. Second, confidence in oneself based on the right understanding of the self and the existence. And third, the mutually fulfilling the behavior with the human being. So clarity and the confidence in ethical human conduct and its correlation with the sustainable happiness and the prosperity, that is human friendly. And the fourth one is mutually fulfilling interaction with the rest of nature. So self-sufficiency in fulfillment of the physical needs, that is the ability to identify the needs and to produce and obtain more than the needs through the cyclic, uh, that is a naturally enriching production, that is a eco-friendly. Okay. So the professional ethic comprises the human friendly and the eco-friendly conduct. So the basis of this human being conduct in terms of the education sanskar. So here we have seen the trees and the plants, these are conduct, their conduct is based on the shade. The cow's conduct is based on the breed. Then hence the human being conduct in a same manner, the human being conduct is based on their education sanskar. So this is the assignments. Just think and observe human being conduct. Is it definite or changeable? Observe the definite human being conduct. Is it the harmony? So observe that harmony, the human relationship in line with this human purpose. So about this course, the concept is based on the madhyasth darshan, which is propounded by Shraddha Nagarajji. The content of the presentation has been taken from the madhyasth darshan web page, Ganesh Bhaiji, Sriram Bhaiji, and many more. Those are studying this philosophy. The clarifications of this presentation totally lies with me. And for more detail, one can visit the madhyasth darshan. My gratitude toward the Nagarajji. This proposal is for happy, meaningful, fulfilling living for all human beings. A proposal implies that we all need to evaluate it for ourselves, by ourselves, and within ourselves. My acknowledgement is towards the Devipad Sansthan. I am also thankful to Devi Shastrisi who introduced me to this journey. For more detail, one may explore themselves for the value-based skill education at Manotip, for the school education at Raipur or India. Study centers are there for families and for everyone at different places in India as well as in Canada. So one can refer Madhyasth Darshan site for the details. Thank you.